Chapter 154. You, Watson's face was flushed red as he yelled, "You bastard! How dare you cheat the Lane family's money? I am going to crush you sooner or later, you liar." Gary turned around at this time before he looked at Watson and asked, "Mr. Lane, do you know this person?" Watson snorted before he replied, "All I know is that he is the son-in-law of the Richard family. He does not have a job and he lives off his wife. Recently, he managed to coax my father into giving him some money." "Is that so?" Gary asked as he raised his brows. At this time, he snorted because he felt completely reassured at this time. "All right then, young man. I would advise you not to be so arrogant. Otherwise, you'd be the one to suffer in the end. I am not looking down on you, but are you sure you can afford to pay $110 million? Alex's face was very cold as he replied, "You don't have to worry if I have enough money or if I can afford to pay the money. If you want to fight against me, then you should continue bidding. Otherwise, you should just shut your mouth and back out right now." Gary could not tolerate him any longer and he started cursing immediately. "Young man, you're really seeking death." Alex laughed before he said, "I am seeking death? Is it really up to you? You can't even afford to pay for the things that you want to buy and you're already thinking of how you can get rid of me? Ha ha. You're really such a fool." Gary finally reached his limits because Alex kept ridiculing him. Therefore, he suddenly shouted out loud, "Young man, you'd better give me what I want and let me have the treasure now. Otherwise, it will be useless for you to have the treasure when you'll be losing your life." As soon as he said that, the expression on Aaron's face changed immediately because Gary was obviously trying to break the rules and tarnish the reputation of Money House. His face turned blue and he felt very uncomfortable, but he did not dare to refute the feng shui master. Alex smiled slightly as he said, "If you really want to take my life, you still have to wait for the auction to end, don't you? The auction is not over yet and I'm willing to pay $110 million for the clam. If you want to fight for it, then you'll have to continue bidding against me." Faria was very surprised at this time because Gary was not an ordinary person. Even the Adair family did not have the power or capacity to deal with someone like him. However, she could not understand why Alex was so intent on offending Gary. Where did he find the confidence and courage to do so? Trump fell to the sofa as he held his hand against his chest. He could feel his heart beating frantically at this time as he panted in shock. "It's over. This time, everything is over. My son-in-law is done for and the entire Richard family will be completely destroyed." Gary's face was stiff and Alex did not move an inch after saying those words to him. However, Alex was right. This was an auction and if he wanted to get his hands on the clam, he would have to continue bidding for it. But, $110 million. Who would be able to afford that? At this time, everyone had their eyes fixed on Gary as they waited for his response. Gary was very furious at this time, but for the sake of the treasure, he calmed himself down and suppressed his anger before he said in a low voice, "My friend, if I've ever offended you in any way before this, I'm really sorry about it. It was unintentional and I hope that you can forgive me. But this clam is something really useful to me and I really need it. Please do me a favor and let me have it instead. I promise to return the favor." Gary's eyes flickered under the lights because he could not believe that this young man actually had the guts to embarrass and humiliate him in front of everyone else. After this matter was resolved, he would have to teach him a lesson. Alex replied faintly at this time, "I'm really sorry, but it is also very useful and valuable to me. I can't let you have it. Furthermore, I believe I've already mentioned this earlier, but you're just a bully and your favor means nothing to me at all." Gary broke down at this time. All that Gary could think of right now was that he would have to find a way to kill Alex as soon as the auction was over. He had to kill him. The people at the auction hall could not help but sigh at the situation that was unfolding before them. They did not expect this young man to challenge Gary all the way to the end. After that, the auctioneer finally dropped his gavel and Alex succeeded in the bid for the clam for the price of $110 million. Gary was so angry and he glanced bitterly at Alex before he left the auction hall immediately. He wanted to kill Alex on the spot, but circumstances did not allow it. He had to resolve this matter slowly. Faria stared at Gary's back as he walked away slowly before she reminded Alex, "Mr. Depp is not an ordinary person. I don't think he'll give up so easily. He'll definitely try to cause some trouble for you. You should be careful and look out for yourself and your family." Alex smiled as he replied, "I'm just afraid that he won't come for me."